Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Today is October the 25th. 5 game slate for today. Ton of basketball on tomorrow. Man, this is an absolute grind, man. For the people who, try to handicap these games in detail, and then you got all the other sports going on as well. I just want to say it's an absolute grind trying to get through. Like you get a 5 game slate like today, and then boom, immediately you got to jump into the work for tomorrow because I'm looking at it right now. I think it's about 12 games tomorrow on the first Sunday of the NBA. So hopefully you guys are all doing well. Hopefully you've had a great morning wherever you're watching the show. It's 1:20 or 1:10 or 10 minutes late on the East Coast. So we'll get into a quick recap of yesterday, talk about what Jackson likes, break the 5 games down. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and we'll get ready to get up out of here, man. So first up, yesterday, 2 plays for me, end up splitting 1-1. The Spurs made it super sweaty. Wemby fouling out, looking like you never played basketball before. But it did end up winning and covering yesterday. We got 3. I forgot what they won by, but we did get the 3 and they won that game and covered. Also had the Toronto Raptors. Love Toronto, what they did in the first game, but they were not able to replicate that. Quickly missed a bunch of free throws in the fourth quarter. I don't want to blame it on just that because the Bucks look sound, they look solid, but quickly missed a bunch of free throws. They turned the ball over a ton. Maybe it's just the synergy. I'm still going to be like, it's an 82-game series, so can't give up on the Toronto Raptors after 1 game. I'm going to still be playing Toronto, especially in those pick'em type situations in teams that I think that they should be able to beat. So 1-1 day for me on official plays that I shared and talked about. Just kind of taking it slow to start the season. I think that's really important because there's a ton of games, ton of opportunities, and you got to manage your bankroll well. So it's my word of advice for everybody today as well. Let's go through the comments real quick, and then we'll jump into it. We'll jump into it for today. Jay Sean says, loving the NBA. It has been a lit opening season. It's been crazy. Shout out to my Mavs for selling my parlay. Yeah, the Mavs in a little bit of trouble, man. Been a little bit of trouble for sure. What's up, Dilly? Appreciate you for tapping in. What's up, Anthony? As always, appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Tasha. Good afternoon, Tasha. Sunshine, Jay Sunshine says, hit the like button. Appreciate that. He says it's free. It absolutely is. Good morning, Watson. Well, I keep saying morning because I'm used to doing the show in the morning. Good afternoon, Watson. What up, Prolific? Says, what up, Chris? Catching my first live went 2-2 yesterday. Yeah, it's a big season coming up. Rick says, Mavs got to take Flag out at the point. You can't put D'Lo in there getting 1, 2, and 3 last night either. But you got to play some defense. You can't give up that many points to the Wizards, man. It just can't happen. Dougie Bone says Hornets spread or 4-game over. What up, Malik? Talking about the Bulls today. Dougie Bone says under for Devin Booker, points, rebounds, and assists. A lot of looks being shown already. Tasha says got you and Jay on both TVs. Should have did the show together. I didn't even know Jay was doing the show today. I would have definitely. Jay could have. All you do is let me know. I could have got jumped over Jay and didn't even do a show on my channel. But it's all good, man. Let's jump into it for today. Wemby with the block party. Yeah, Wemby almost had a triple-double with blocks last night. Been absolutely killing it on the defensive end. So let's jump into it for today. We'll start off with Jackson, AI Sports Betting Tool that you guys can utilize in the link in the description. So yesterday, Jackson went 0-2 yesterday. The looks were John Collins over his 19.5 points plus rebounds. That was a loser. And then the other look, man, I forgot what it was. It was Davion Mitchell over his 10.5 points. Davion Mitchell absolutely does nothing yesterday. Finishes with 2 points, even though he scored 146 points yesterday. So I think that's a little bit of a bad break. Miami got the job done last night. Should have bet Miami too. First half is the way I want to start taking Miami, but we'll talk about that at another time. As far as today goes, I kind of feel like because we don't have this super big sample sizes, I want to kind of shy away from player props and look more towards totals and spreads for Jackson specifically. And as we get more data, be data collectors. As we get more data and this stuff starts to make a little bit more sense, I'll go back to, that being the prompt. So today's prompt, I asked, of the 5 NBA games today, what's the best total bet on the board and why? And Jackson tells me that the best total bet for today is actually the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets under the 234.5. Available on ESPN bet at -110. So it starts off with some statistical and matchup analysis. It says that pace and defensive intensity, the primary driver of the underpick is that Denver has established an identity and pace of play. The Nuggets run an offense that is described as entirely methodical and consistently ranks near the bottom of the league in pace. I'm not sure how much I agree with that this season. They played fast against the Warriors the other day. But I'll continue. It says this slow, deliberate style of play naturally suppresses the total score regardless of how efficient the offenses are. Furthermore, Denver is recognized as one of the better defensive outfits in the association. Facing a strong defensive team that controls the tempo is a recipe for lower scoring games, especially when considering the opponent's current situation. Then you got some historical data here, the history between the two teams, the unders 5-1 in the last 6 head-to-head matchups when they played in Denver, the under 7-3 in the last 10 matchups between the Suns and Nuggets overall. And then Phoenix playing second leg of back-to-back, of course, after a tough loss to the Clippers. In that loss, they managed just 102 points, indicating their offense is still finding a rhythm and may be suffering from fatigue early in the season. And the Suns will be without Jalen Green, who is expected not to make his debut until at least Monday, while Devin Booker is expected to be aggressive after attempting only 10 shots last night. In the loss, the overall team energy and efficiency are likely to be compromised on the second leg of a back-to-back in a disciplined Denver defense. So yeah, and they're traveling to altitude. So this does make sense to me. It's always scary to take unders in Nuggets games, but I do think that this one stays under the total. I kind of like that play a lot. So I just let you guys ride with that one. Denver also likes Jackson also likes Yeah, we'll just leave it there. We shall leave it there for today. That's the thought process, man. Everybody that joined in late, appreciate you guys for being here as always. I'll go back through the comments, but let's jump into it, man. Get some actionable information out here. So we got the Chicago Bulls and the Orlando Magic in the first game. I want to preface the actual handicapping of the show, today's games, by saying this. I didn't get a chance to go through these games like in a rugged manner like I typically do. Now, granted, you don't need, you go back and watch the games or you listen to the post-game interview, however it is that you handicap the games in general, hasn't been that much data to actually collect. So I just wanted to say that because I kind of feel indifferent about a couple of these games. But let's jump into it. So first up, we got the Chicago Bulls and Orlando Magic. We look at the injury report. There's no Kobe White for Chicago. Zach Collins also out. Jalen Suggs just got ruled out probably about 15, 20, 30 minutes ago for Orlando. And then you got Mo Wagner is also listed as doubtful. I don't think he's going to return in today's game, but Mo is getting really, really close to coming back. Franz will be out there, but Mo could potentially return soon. So Chicago playing first game in they were off yesterday, but they do play Atlanta on Monday. Orlando is playing the second leg of back-to-back, third game in 4 nights for them, of course, to start the season. They play in Philly on Monday as well. They did lose last night after getting out to a pretty big lead. I think they had like a 14 or 15-point lead last night against Atlanta. And offense just, really started to struggle late. And they kind of beat themselves throughout the game because they had such a big lead that they probably should have won and covered last night. But they missed a ton of free throws. I'm not sure how many, but it was a ton of free throws. Specifically late in that game, but all throughout. I think it was like 14, 15 free throws missed. Also turned the ball over a ton. I think that they do match up really, really well against Chicago. And if you go back to last season, Chicago actually won 2 of the 3 meetings that these teams did play. Chicago's going to be a tough out, in my opinion. I kind of want to take the points with Chicago here as well. I kind of feel like Orlando can win this game. Chicago's going to be competitive. Chicago does have the rest advantage. I feel like they're kind of still undervalued in the market, even after they beat Detroit in the season opener. They played Orlando tough last season, and I don't like the rest disadvantage. I know it's still early in the season. Orlando's a super young team, but I don't like the rest disadvantage, them playing third game in 4 nights and back-to-back, although both games were at home. So I didn't really get there on the side. As far as if I had to play one, I do think I'd take the points with Chicago. As far as Orlando going to have to show me a little bit. They've had a really good offensive game, which was the first game against the who did they beat? They beat the Miami Heat, didn't cover the spread. And then yesterday they had a really good defensive game, but offense didn't put it together. So until they can kind of put it together, because they're 0-2 against the numbers so far, 1 outright loss, I think I'd be catching the points with Chicago here. As far as the total goes, we've seen 1 really good offensive game against Orlando, 1 really good defensive game for Orlando. I don't really want to on the second leg of a back-to-back, I kind of feel like the defense can kind of slide a little bit. So Chicago wants to play fast. They want to get out and run. I think that Chicago will be able to score a little bit in this game. They're a sneaky good rebounding team as well. Chicago has been in that first game, and I'm projecting them to be throughout the season and preseason as well. So I think Chicago total. I don't really want to bet over at 233, but I guess it will be over for me as well. As far as player props go, I do want to transition over really, really quickly, and I won't go through all the games in this much detail, even though there is only just 5. I want to go through and show you guys what I was looking at as far as player props in this game. It's actually 2 that stand out to me. And if you've been somebody that follows the NBA for a while, one of them should be a no-brainer. The other one, maybe not. So let's start with Tyus. So I like Tyus. I sent this out about 15 minutes ago. I like Tyus Jones' assist today. You can see that this number he's under. And this is not the reason why I like it. I actually just pulled this up so I can show you guys a little bit of what I was looking at when I thought about making this play. So he has not hit the over, right? This is the over. This is the under. So if we look at over, you can see that he has struggled. He has not gone over. They've only played 2 games so far this season, 3 and 2 assists. But he's gonna get a ton of more minutes today without Jalen Suggs being there. Jalen Suggs, of course, plays a ton of minutes. You can go down here and look at his minutes, potential assists down here as well. But you can see his minutes, just 23 and then 19 last night against Atlanta. He will be in a much better flow, in my opinion, tonight because of that. He gets a defense. You can see last year Chicago gave up the 3rd most assists per game. So I like the matchup here for Tyus. You can see that they gave up the actually most assists to the point guard position last season. So 4.5, I caught it at -120. It's juiced everywhere else to like -150 on a couple books, but 4.5, 5. I mean, I think it's a potential ladder spot for Tyus in this game, especially because he's gonna have to, just contribute to the offense. We know I think he had the highest assist to turnover ratio last season as well. So I like Tyus. That was the first one that I looked at. The next one is, and I thought about this yesterday when I was looking into this game. This is one of the only games I looked into yesterday. But Wendell Carter Jr. always plays his former team tough, right? If we go and look at the head-to-head matchup, boom, last 3 times that he's played against Chicago Bulls, he always loves to play against Chicago. 17, 14 points. You can see he did have a little dud right here where he only had 4. But this is his former team. And I'll read you guys the quote that I was able to find last night after the game. Rebounds not as much, 8.5, but and I feel like they got enough rebounders. He has been rebounding the basketball pretty good though. We go and look at his rebounds, 8 and 8. You just need him to get one more in this game. If you look at his points, 9 and 10, and he said at 10.5 for today. This is Wendell Carter Jr. This is outlier for people who are new to the show. If you guys are interested in checking out this software to help handicap player props, use the link in the description and it'll, get you guys a promo. So Wendell Carter Jr. actually had a quote, right? He says, and I quote, "This is definitely a game I always circle," said Carter, who started his NBA career with the Bulls before being acquired by the Magic in 2021. Quote, "It keeps me engaged. It keeps me ready to go. We look at it as a must win. You never want to drop 2 in a row, especially here at home. The biggest story is recovery for us. Just get our legs underneath us. So we will still be able to run offensively because they want to play fast. We know that they talked about wanting to play fast. So that's my thought process on this game. I told you guys a lot. Spread, I would be looking towards Chicago plus the points. And then total, I would be looking, I guess, probably over a little more than under. And player props, Tyus Jones, I bet over 4.5 assists, and then Wendell Carter Jr. over his 10.5 points is what I would be looking at for today. Let's go back through the comments real quick, see what I missed. Kyrie says not linking up with Cal and Ski no more. I can't do Cal's show at midnight. I talked to Cal, me and Cal talked about that. If he's doing it any other time, I told him I'm available midday, morning, afternoon, evening. I just can't do midnight. It's not conducive with my schedule. But yeah, so I'll try to catch up with Cal when I can. Deuce says, bless up. Let's get it, Chris. Appreciate that, bro. What up, Justin? What else should I see in here? Davion Mitchell assists. Looking like a lock every game, bro. I got to look into his assists. What's up, Mark? Hope all is well. This is Chris in chat. Glad to be catching you live, Chris. Trying to get back in rhythm. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Luckily, soccer ended today. So it's the last soccer game for my son. So these Saturday shows will be a little bit earlier, but not for long. Basketball. He wants to play basketball now. So basketball season starts. We get a couple weeks off and then basketball season starts. I'm actually going to be in Philly on a month from now, on the 20th. I'll be in Philly on a Thursday through Sunday, I think. So that'll throw off my rhythm a little bit. And that'll throw off a Saturday show too, but neither here nor there. We'll work around it, man. Curry says Magic defense not the same at all. Yeah, it wasn't too bad last night. I think they're 8th defensively when I was looking into it. They're not terrible defensively, but they had a really poor defensive performance in game 1. And I mean, some of these teams have only played one game, right? So let's see. Orlando they're 6th in defensive rating at 108.9. And that says a lot because defensively teams have looked terrible so far. I think the overs are 21-7 so far in the 28 games that have been played. What up? Call me Aries says we back, man. Appreciate that. Joined as a member. Appreciate that. What else should I say here? Malik says he'll take his Bulls +6 for me. I like Magic first quarter though. You can see it. I like the +6 too. Mark says he played Carter over 9.5 points juice, but Vucevic terrible defensively. Yeah, he should. This barbecue chicken should be barbecue chicken tonight for Wendell Carter Jr. playing his old team. I haven't played it yet, but I will be looking at his points. Malik says Vooch 10 and 15 and 10. Yeah, Vooch, I did see something yesterday. Vooch has family flying in. He'll be back, of course, in Orlando for this game. So both centers kind of, got something to prove tonight. Let's see. Vaughn says going to Vucevic points and rebounds. Going to take another look at Paulo after not shooting well last night and a bit of a bounce back spot today. We shall see. I thought about Buzelis. Always taking a look at Buzelis. Yeah, I think it's 16.5 is his points. This is a tad bit too high for me. Orlando is a pretty good defensive team, but we shall see. Jay Sunshine says Wendell should step up after missing them free throws last night. He shot terrible from the free throw line, man. MMA says Portland on the map. Appreciate you for tapping in. Tasha says Philly, my area. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be out in Philly for a couple of nights in November, the weekend before Thanksgiving. All right, let's keep moving. Next one up, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder. They will be in Atlanta today. This line was 6.5. It's moving to 7.5. I feel like there must have been some news that I missed. Let me just double check the injury report real quick and make sure we didn't get any tweets because they definitely gonna be coming. Let's see. Nah, just Jalen. Oh no, there we go. So Porzingis is questionable. This all happened right after the show. Porzingis is questionable. He didn't play last night, of course. Zachary Risache also was ruled out last night. He's also gonna miss this game as well. And Jalen Johnson. Ooh, that's a big one. I didn't see any of this before I started the show. He's listed as questionable with an ankle injury as well. And then I see Justin Edwards is available to play, which I did see that earlier. So this throws a monkey wrench in things for sure. If you like, I mean, y'all probably know already, but if you like Atlanta, you don't want to see Porzingis not be there and potentially Jalen Johnson not being there and Risache being listed as out. Playing on the second leg of a back-to-back. I had originally wrote down Atlanta plus the points in my pocket. I didn't put it in my pocket, but that's the way I wanted to play Atlanta plus 6.5. I know that they're coming off the back-to-back. OKC is by far the better team. I don't think that is, like a question, especially with Atlanta having to figure out some chemistry and some rhythm in general. They need to buy in, and get some continuity. I couldn't play this game without Porzingis being, knowing the status of Porzingis, but definitely not knowing the status of Jalen Johnson and Zachary Risache. I think Atlanta, though, I think about a couple things for Atlanta. So, yes, they're playing on the second leg of a back-to-back, but that's already factored into the line. Super short travel from Atlanta to Orlando. Like, you probably could, get in a car and make that drive and be back, enough time and be rested for this game. And then, of course, you still got OKC, who's they're coming off back-to-back double overtime games as well. And I also think that there's like this element of like when you're the champs, right? Like you're always going to get everybody's best shot. So it don't matter if you're playing against the Washington Wizards, right? And that might not be a great example, but I mean, they looked good last night. But everybody is going to give OKC their best shot. And I was reading yesterday about Trae Young and how he was super inspired by, because we know Trae Young went to Oklahoma. He's from Oklahoma. So he, is a little more connected, not to the Thunder specifically, but to the city. And he was just talking about being very, very, inspired by what this Thunder team has done, kind of bringing the first title back to the city. And I think he's going to use that as motivation, man. But I can't do nothing with that if I don't know the status of these other players. And then on the other thing, like, we got to think about OKC as well, right? Cason Wallace is listed as questionable. Chet Holmgren is questionable. No Caruso again. Isaiah Joe is out. Kendrick Williams and Jalen Williams continue to be out as well. Topic is out. So I don't know. It's a ton of injury implications in this game. I still kind of want to take Atlanta plus the points. I think OKC. Remember, they did really great, right? I talked about this on the preview show. OKC not only was one of the best teams in the league last year, but they were also one of the best ATS teams we've seen so far. 66, 37, and 3 against the number last season, and I think it was even better in the regular season. Yeah, they covered 69% of their regular season games last season. So if you just woke up every morning and said, I don't care what, I'm not going to handicap anything, I'm not going to do anything, I'm going to just take the team that I think is the best team, and this is the best team. If you just did that for the regular season, 55, 25, and 3 against the number, I don't think it's going to be, I say that to say, I don't think it's going to be that easy. I think the books will add a few more points for OKC this season. We've seen them go 0-2 so far, ATS. So I say all that to say, if everybody's in for Atlanta, game being in Atlanta, I would take the points with Atlanta in this game. I don't really want to lay too many points with OKC on the road, especially until they get healthy. So that's my thought process. Let's see what you got. And then as far as the total goes in this game, it's gone up 235.5 up to 237.5. I don't know, man. Like, yes, it's really, really difficult, and you kind of got to hold your nose if you want to take an under in an Atlanta game. But OKC, I was looking into it earlier. They not shot the ball really well. Maybe, playing against the Atlanta Hawks defense, that looks a little bit better. But I was looking into it, and let's see real quick. Let me just give you guys the numbers. They've shot really, really poor. And it's been a 2-game sample size now. OKC is actually the worst three-point shooting team in the NBA. So through 2 games, they're shooting just 26.4% right now. And remember, game 1 would have went under against Houston if they didn't go to overtime, and then game 2 would have went under against Indiana, I think. And then, of course, that game went to overtime as well. So if we don't get overtime, we're looking at the worst 2 3-point shooting teams in the NBA right now. I'm just looking at it. OKC is shooting 26% from the 3-point line. Atlanta is shooting 28% from the 3-point line. So these are the worst 2 3-point shooting teams in the NBA right now. I will buck the trend and go under, but that's a lot easier. Easier said than done, man. Under 238.5 is available on BetMGM. I think that's the way I would look. But I would need to know the injury report status, of course. And I would want some of those defensive players from the Atlanta Hawks specifically to be playing in this game. So that's my thought process. OKC can win this game with their defense, and they're missing a lot, especially if Chet doesn't play. That's a lot of rim protection too. But yeah, I would need to look at it a little bit deeper once I figured out who is going to play. So many moving parts in this game, man. But I kind of want to buck the trend and go under. Let's see what you guys are thinking, and then we'll move on to the next one. It was his birthday yesterday, Vooch. I did see that. A lot of family in town because it was his birthday. Prolific says, Chris, we got to be more strategical with these lineups. Patience pays. That's a fact. That is a fact. I mean, not me. If y'all remember, y'all know I send out plays typically right before the game start. I'll do all this, and I think about it even more after the show, and then I lock my plays in. Let's see. Portland at home may be a thing again. Yeah, they absolutely mollywopped the Warriors last night. I didn't see that one coming. I thought they would win. It was a situational spot, but I didn't think it was going to be like that. And you would have thought Chauncey was out there last night. The way that they played. AJ Mitchell, 11.5 points. I think you got to keep looking at that, Jay. If they're going to continue to be shorthanded, somebody else is going to have to step up. So it's going to have to be him or who else had they been playing. AJ Mitchell and who was the other guy? There's a guy come off the bench. I can't remember, but Casey Wallace could potentially take some of those minutes too. AJ Mitchell for me, Vaughn says, and that's it in this game. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next. We got the Hornets and the 76ers. This line open looks like 6.5 down to 4.5. It looks like it's consensus right now. There was a 5. There's still a 5 on FanDuel right now. If you're interested in the Charlotte side of things, we look at the injury report. Same 2 on it for Charlotte. Jalen Green. Not Jalen Green. I'm sorry. What's the other Green kid named? Josh Green. Josh Green is out for Charlotte. And no Grant Williams, of course. He's still recovering from the injury. On the 76ers side of things, still no PG, still no Jerry McCain. TJ Watford is out, and Justin Edwards, of course, is in now. So we only saw Charlotte play against probably the worst team in the NBA, the Brooklyn Nets, which we cashed on them, minus the 5.5. Now we getting them plus 5. You can get the Philadelphia 76ers were able to go into Boston, but you got to ask yourself, how good is Boston going to be this year? Man, they've looked pretty bad in the first 2 games, and I think that whole front line being depleted is really stopping them from being able to get stops. I got to go back and watch it. I didn't really watch too much of the game against the Knicks last night, but I was kind of keeping track, and I did see that second quarter, I think, where they got outscored by like 28 points, 42-14 or something along those lines. But neither here nor there. I know Charlotte game came against Brooklyn. I kind of want to take the points with Charlotte. I think that this line's moving in the right direction, man. Charlotte has beaten the Hornets 10 straight times. That's a lot of revenge, man. 10 straight times. I would argue that this is the healthiest that the Charlotte Hornets have been in those games, and the most healthiest and most talented in those games. And then on the Phoenix side of things, then on the Philly side of things, not Embiid he didn't look great in that first game. And if you're I always forget his name. I can see his face, the light-skinned coach for the Charlotte Hornets. What's his name? Y'all help me out with his name. Charlotte Hornets. If you're the Hornets coach, aren't you just saying, we already know that they want to run, right? And I think that's why this total has gone up 6 points from 231.5 up to 237. If you're the Hornets, don't you just say like we just got to fly up and down the floor so Joel Embiid can't get back on defense, right? And he have another game like he had last time. Now on the opposite side of that, if Philly slows it down, there's a lot of barbecue chicken out there if Embiid can get his legs underneath him, because Charlotte doesn't really have a true center that's going to be able to slow down Embiid, in my opinion. But Embiid's not. I don't think he's quite in game shape yet. I don't think he hasn't looked like himself, at least in that first game. So say all that to say, man, I'm taking the points with Charlotte if I'm betting this game. Not comfortable laying with Philly yet. I think we need to see a little bit more from them. Charlotte does have a game tomorrow. They play in D.C. against the Wizards. I'm actually interested in going to see that game. I was thinking when I was looking into a handicap, I was like, oh, shoot, I don't think I realized that. I may try to find some tickets and slide to D.C. tomorrow to go see the Hornets play against the Wizards. Wizards home opener, coming off a win. I don't think they'll be tanking quite yet. So, that could be a little exciting game. I got to check out all the other stuff. But, I think Charlotte plus the points, man, is the side that I want to be on. Granted, like I said, it's not a big sample size. They beat Brooklyn. But I think they can keep this game within the possession. That's my thought process. Charles Lee, thank you, Mark. Yeah, thank you, Charles Lee. I can never remember Charles Lee's name, which is interesting. So interesting. I know a lot of Charleses. Let's see. Wiggins. Yep, Aaron Wiggins. Jay Sunshine. Yep, Aaron Wiggins. That's who it is. Him or AJ Mitchell. Says Aline Hornets. No Tatum. No Boston. Tasha says. Philly money line, agent. I'm not betting money lines right now. I don't bet money lines most of the time in general, but because I don't parlay. But when I do, when I infrequently do, I don't do it at the beginning of the season. Like, you can get absolutely smoked. All you need is one to go wrong. I think it opened 5.5. I see it opened at 6 on Wager Talk Live iScreen. That's a fact. He's not in beat yet. Prolific says I like over the Hornets and Sixers, but the total is super high. I consider, and I put in my notes, either Charlotte or Charlotte team total over. That total is a lot higher. than you would like to play. But again, man, like these games have blown over the total. You don't want to get in now, right? Because you're 6 points too late. But the Hornets team total is 116.5. Like, I don't think we've seen a Hornets team total at 117 in quite a while. Without Embiid being there, if they, run him off the floor or he tweaks his knee or whatever the case might be, Charlotte's going to be flying up and down the floor. But it's definitely one that if it starts off slow, you jump in on a live over for sure. Call me Aries says Maxi threes over, BJ points over again. Mellow defense is barbecue chicken. I couldn't talk you off either one of those. Maxi, I think, should get busy in this game. They don't have a guard that's going to be able to slow him down. Will Edgecombe get some usage? That is the question. I think he will. I mean, he had a ton in the first game in Boston too. So I think Philly's going to be hyped today for sure because they actually got something to go watch, especially with Maxi back on the floor. Let's see. Do says it's cool. Edge and Maxi over points and over on the total. Could be that simple. Could definitely be that simple. Let's move on to the next one. We got the Pacers and the Grizzlies. Line open with the Pacers actually laying 1.5, and it's flipped now to the Grizzlies. Look like consensus is Grizzlies laying a point. So on some books, 1.5. Total has shot up. Well, not shot up, but it opened 235.5. Another total that's up to 237.5, 238. So this game is tricky to me because the Pacers are, in my opinion, I feel like they can kind of keep up. We haven't seen them play on the road yet, and of course they were super motivated for Game 1 against the Oklahoma City Thunder the other day. They lost that game outright, but played them down to the wire. Of course, the overtimes. But I need them to have a point guard though. That's what I need in order to take the Pacers. TJ McConnell is still out. No Nembhard. Nembhard is also out. That hurts. I think the Pacers a lot. So you're without Halliburton, you're without Nembhard, you're without TJ McConnell. I didn't like what I saw from them. A gritty team, yes. Furphy is also listed as questionable. He's one of the guards that they have. And then the Grizzlies still beat up as well. They can submit their injury report late. I expect them to be back. For most of the players that played last night to play, but you're still without Brandon Clark. There's still no Zach Edey. Still no Ty Jerome. Still Scottie Pippen Jr. out. Still Vince Williams out as well. I'm not going to keep saying all that because I think most of those players are going to be out for quite a while. So they're also missing a lot of depth in the backcourt, in the front court. In the backcourt. Outside of Ja, I don't know, man. Memphis, of course, got smoked last night. They gave up 146 points. That game was over with before it even started. The Miami Heat covered the trifecta spot yesterday. 146 last night. Lost by 32. Ja Morant says the game you just flushed. He said he's not even going to watch the tape. They were 3-point favorites in that game. They played their first two games up and over the total. They gave up 122 points before giving up 146. And that was to the Pelicans, who offense didn't look that great. I guess you could say San Antonio's defense played well last night. But it's a difficult game, I think, from a side perspective, because I don't want to lay too many points with Memphis, but I can't take the Pacers on the road without a point guard. Like Memphis getting smoked the way that they did last night. I think they lost that game by 30 or close to 30. I guess I would just bet Memphis, especially if everybody plays for Memphis today. Very, very disgusting loss last night. At least Memphis early is what I would look at, especially without the Pacers having a true point guard. It could take a while for them to kind of figure things out, man. And as far as the total goes, I kind of feel like even though both of these teams are projected to play super fast, I think the Pacers will have to slow it down a little bit. This is not going to be the same Pacers team when you don't have TJ McConnell, Nembhard, or Tyrese Halliburton. So I kind of feel like because there's so many primary ball handlers missing on both sides, I don't really trust either one of these teams to shoot the three well. Memphis, I told you guys earlier that the Atlanta Hawks and the Oklahoma City Thunder are the worst 2 3-point shooting teams. Memphis is actually the third worst 3-point shooting team. They're shooting 29% through 2 games. So they're not great. Indiana shot 30% from three the other night against OKC as well. They're 26th in 3-point shooting. So with these totals going up, I know that both of these teams fly up and down the floor, but if they're not able to knock the 3-point shot down, especially with the Pacers not having a bunch of offense, I wouldn't say bunch of offense, with the Pacers missing a bunch of offense, I feel like this one could potentially go under as well. The last 4 times that they played, they've had pretty high totals. 4 to 5 have stayed under the number as well. So that's my thought process. It's a contrarian underlook. And I guess I would have the default play would be Memphis on the money line here, or maybe even Memphis early based on, the way that they played last night. Pacers not having a point guard is the reason why I can't take them. But I do want to fade Memphis a lot at home. Let's see what you guys are thinking, and then we'll move over to the last game. Benedict Mathurin over his points. That makes a lot of sense. I agree with that, Jay. Mathurin's gonna have to get busy in this game. Him, Pascal Siakam, if they're gonna have a chance, it's definitely gonna have to get busy in this game for sure. Also, I think I failed to mention this, but they play tomorrow, right? Pacers play tomorrow in Minnesota. Minnesota will have their home opener tomorrow, and they get the Pacers. So Pacers get, mess around and get smoked in this game. Is that game tomorrow? It might not be tomorrow. Yeah, it is tomorrow. I'm tripping. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Pacers, things start off a little bad for them, then, they could potentially, Rick Carlisle could potentially pull the guys and, try to focus on that game tomorrow. They're also both non-conference games. Not that you want to start the season off bad, but they're both non-conference games as well. So it's disgusting, but it'd be Grizzlies for me. Dude says that was disgusting last night by the Grizzlies. Yeah, they never really showed up. Vaughn says, don't like Pacers offense without a primary ball handler. I like Memphis, but not in love with them. I lean Memphis first quarter coming off that kind of blowout, but it's only early for me, and I kind of agree with that. Job bounce back game over 24.5 points. They don't have anybody that can guard them. Real quick, let's just look at the minutes for Ja last night. I didn't look into it last night, but let's just see. I know for sure they don't have anybody that can guard. No Miles Turner at the rim, I think is a big that's a big, point of emphasis that you got to be looking to take advantage of, in my opinion. I just want to see how many minutes did Ja play last night? Shouldn't have been a lot. That game was over with at halftime. Actually, let's see if I can find it. I went to. Why can't I find it? There we go. Okay. Yeah, it was. They were losing by 19 at the end of the first quarter. I went to the UVA game last night. When I got home, this game was over. Like I was trying to figure out what I was going to put in the 3 box. Which 3 games I wanted to watch at the same time on Amazon Prime. I was like, yep, ain't no need to go into this game. I think Bam had 20 in the first quarter. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but there's no need to watch this game. Ja last night, real quick on Ja. Ja had, excuse me. Memphis. Oh, they didn't have the game in here. So you know what? That's my fault. Hold on. I'm trying to speed this up real quick. Let's see. All right. So Memphis, Ja played 21 minutes last night. Yeah, he should absolutely go bonkers in this game. 0 for 4 from the 3-point line, 4 for 16 from the field, 12.6 assists. They don't have a, point guard depth for them is also a little rare too. Like they don't have a lot. None of their starters played more than 23 minutes because of the blowout. Like I said, that was over with before it started. It was 86 to 47 at halftime. That's crazy. 86 to 47 at halftime. They doubled them. Yeah. Ja over his points, I think, is a nice bounce back spot, Dilly. Lisa's wish I could bet JJ to get over 3.5 fouls. Yeah, I'll take that every night, especially on the road. Will says he'll take the Pacers on the money line. Go a little contrarian here. Jay says I read Ja may have played through an ankle injury yesterday. I need to investigate that a little bit more, but I didn't see anything about that. We shall see. He was questionable coming into the game, but he did play. Dilly says a lot of Ja points. I think he'll have a good game. Vaughn says for prime and the max amount of games, you get the multi-view 3, and how you like it. I'm thinking of getting it, but need an honest review. Yeah, just real quick, and then I'll go to the last game. Brian says, what up, Chris? Pacers money line and Bulls plus 5.5. I like the Bulls. I don't think the Pacers though, but we'll see what happens. Real quick, as far as Prime goes, like the NBA League Pass is on Prime this season. I don't like that you can only watch it 3 games. I don't like that. I just wish YouTube TV still had it from last year, because YouTube TV had 4 games. I do like that you can make one of the games primary and have the sound on for that game. I just don't like that you can only watch 3. And then if you have like an older model TV, you can't even do the multi-view. So that's something to take into consideration as well. I got like 10 TVs in my house, but and it's a flat screen TV. It's a Samsung, all that, but it's like a 2 years older than I think it would need to be. Mounted on the wall, all that stuff, and I can't watch the games in my bedroom. I like in the living room, I can. In my basement, I can. I got 3 TVs in my basement. Well, yeah, 4 TVs in my basement. I can watch the multi-view on all of those, but I can't watch the one in my bedroom. So it has to be compatible. That's the review. If it's not compatible, you can only watch one game at a time, and that's terrible in my opinion. Unless you're just trying to only want to watch one game. But I do like the multi-view. I just wish it stayed with YouTube TV. Everything was kind of together. Will says it said 5 people sitting for the Grizzlies. I didn't see that quite yet, but I got to get off here so I can check out the updated injury report. Maybe I missed something with Memphis. We shall see. I don't see the line flipping either. Just Memphis minus the 1 right now. All right, last game on the board, which is the Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns. Line open 12 up to 13.5 now. Total open 235. It is coming down to 234, but I see 233.5. I also see 234.5. So everything in between, right? Jalen Green is out. We talked about that already. Denver is projected to be at full strength for this game. They do, of course, have the rest advantage as well. First season opener at home, coming off that overtime loss against the Golden State Warriors the other night. The Phoenix Suns were able to beat the Sacramento Kings the other night, but then got absolutely mollywopped by the Clippers last night. Lost that game by 20, I think it's 28, 29, something like 27. So playing on the second leg of back-to-back in altitude is never a good thing. I think they probably get blown out in this game as well. I just look at Phoenix, and we talk about this, right? They're going to be getting these big numbers. It's a super developmental team. Do I want to am I in a hurry to lay 13.5 points with Denver? No, not necessarily. But I think Denver should be able to score the basketball. I think that Phoenix will struggle to score the basketball as well. I know that Denver has a big game coming up against Minnesota, which is a interdivisional game. They played in 2 overs so far. I just think that Phoenix offense is going to struggle. Devin Booker, I think he only shot the ball 10 times last night. And I was listening to Dylan Brooks talk about how, he's played against him before. He wants him to be more aggressive. He needs to be more aggressive. I said, I guess. Like, they don't really have anybody that can slow him down. We just saw what Steph was able to do against this Nuggets team. But the more I thought about it, I looked at his points. It was like 26.5. And I was like, 27 is kind of hard to score on the second leg of a back-to-back in altitude. So it's nothing really to like for me on the Phoenix side of things. I kind of think that, Phoenix will struggle to score the basketball, which is why I kind of lean towards the under in this game. I don't want to lay 13.5 points early in the season with the Nuggets, but I know that they're the far superior team. So that's my thought process. I didn't bet this game, though. Always can look at Jokic. I think his points, Aaron Gordon threes. I'm not sure what they're listed at, but I mean, dude hit 10 in the first game. I think he hit 7 in a row before he even missed the first one. And clearly, I saw Steph say whatever he did after the game. Steph said whatever he did in the offseason work. And I think, clearly he wants to be taken more serious from the 3-point line. So we'll see what his 3-point prop is. I think that's something that we could definitely be looking at in this game, especially if they give us like a 2.5. I think he could hit 3 threes. I don't think that'll be an anomaly. He's actually listed at 1.5 at minus 160. I just think that those opportunities are going to be there for spacing, so Jokic can work inside the paint. So that's my thought process on this game, man. Jamal Murray probably looking at his assists. He will have his hands full. They probably throw Devin Booker on him. But somebody should be able to knock down some shots in this game. I think Denver should be able to score too. I'm just not sure if they'll need to get as many points as they're projected to, which is 125. Their projected team total is 124 today. I think that's a tad bit too high. Phoenix is listed at 110, and I probably would go under. Well, 109.5, and I probably would go under on Phoenix team total. That's my thought process for this one. Let's see. Deuce says Nuggets and Aaron Gordon again over his points. And Noah says, it's good to be back in your stream, Chris, my boy. Appreciate you, Noah. Dilly says, Denver first half spread is the play for me in this game. I only do straight bets. No need to apologize. Don't say sorry. You and me both. That's what I'm looking at too, man. All right, so getting into a quick recap. I feel like I've been on here for quite a while. Only thing I bet so far is Tyus Jones over his 4.5 assists. Charlotte plus the 5. But like I said, you can get 1-5 on FanDuel right now. It looks like it's still available. And then if I was going to add, we literally just talked about Denver and Phoenix under, even though it's really tough to take unders right now. Remember what I said about Wendell Carter Jr.? I'm probably going to get there with him. I think it's 10.5 points in that same game. Charlotte plus the 5. What else did we talk about? Kind of going back over a recap. Oh, I really want to get there with okay. I'm not going to put Atlanta up just because I need to see what happens with the injury report, but I kind of want to get there. And I think I lean Memphis. I know Memphis sucks, but I think we haven't seen this Pacers team on the road yet, and I think that they will struggle as well. So Memphis on the money line, as long as everybody plays. Not anything that I'm gonna play right now, but Memphis on the money line. I also lean under in that game. I think both of the two high totals today between OKC and Atlanta can go under, and Indiana and Memphis can go under. But those are my thought processes on those games, man. Whatever it is that you guys are betting, I wish you nothing but success, nothing but green. The link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking out my plays. I went 1-1 yesterday. And 1-0 the day before. So just kind of taking it easy. We'll get more information about these teams and pick up the plays. Resources all linked in the description if you guys are interested in checking them out. Jackson, told you guys the looks for Jackson. Jackson also liked the under for Phoenix and Denver today as well. Outlier, I showed you guys how to use that tool if you guys are interested. Moneyballer to come. We'll definitely be checking out Moneyballer, how all the statistical stuff that we need as far as size and totals in the NBA. You can use it now for the NFL if you like. And odds jam, so make sure you get the best odds on whatever it is that you're betting. There's also links in the description if you guys are interested or need a new sports book. Like NoVig is something that's still fairly new. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check that out and support the show. Use that link to sign up for NoVig as well, man. And that'll be it. We'll be back tomorrow. First game starts at 2 tomorrow, 2:10. We got basketball all day, football all day as well, man. It's that time of the year, man. Can't beat it. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. Hit the like button for me on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn the notification bell on. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Enjoy your Saturday.